Hi, boys and girls. Today is Tuesday. It is October the 20th, 2020. And I've already met with most of you today, but I did want to do a review of the lesson that we did. The reason I want to review it with you is because one of the goals of first grade is to be able to draw certain shapes. And drawing those shapes for some is not too hard, but for some it can be very difficult. So if you want to get paper and pencil, a crayon, a marker, and a whiteboard, I want you to try to get that right now. So when we draw together, you can practice with me. We have 6 shapes that we're practicing. And so I want you to be ready for those 6 shapes. So the very first one we're going to do is a circle. Now, when I draw a circle, I have to think for a minute, how many straight sides and how many corners? Well, we know a circle has 0 straight sides because it's round, and that means it doesn't have any pointy corners. So when I draw my circle, I'm not going to pick up my pencil off the paper or my crayon off the paper. I'm going to try and make one round line that touches at the top. So I have my crayon here, and I'm going to draw one round circle the best that I can, and they have to touch at the top. Okay. If I have a hole up here where they don't touch, it's kind of like if I put water inside the circle, the water would spill out if I had a hole. So I can't have any holes in there. We call that a closed shape. So if it's closed, then it's a 2D shape. All right, so there's a circle here. I don't have any corners and I don't have any straight sides. So that's all I'm going to draw for it. Now, the next shape that you need to know is a square. Now, a square has 4 sides and 4 corners. But the sides are all the same, meaning they're the same length. There aren't any sides that are longer or shorter because they're all the same. So when I draw this square, I'm going to have to pick up my crayon every time I want to draw a line. So I'm going to start up here at the top. I'm going to draw one straight line here at the top. Okay? Then I pick up my crayon and I'm going to go to this corner here. I'm going to draw a line going down as straight as I can so it's not too short and not too long. So I'm going to go down and probably stop there because this line looks about the same as this line. So I'm going to pick up my pencil and go back up to this corner, and I'm going to go straight down one more time. So these 2 sides match. And then I'm going to go pick up my crayon and go to this line and draw a straight line here. The reason I pick up my pencil or my crayon is so my corners are pointy. If they're not pointy, it's not a square. So now I get to mark my square. So here I have, I'm going to start with my corners. I have a corner here, I have a corner here, I have a corner here, and I have a corner over here. Okay. Did you do that too? I hope so. We have 4 corners. But now I also have to show 4 sides. So even though I can see them, I still need to mark them. So I mark it like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That shows me 4 sides. Now it's kind of easy with a square, but when we get to some of our other shapes, it gets a little harder. All right. Now let's go to our next shape. The next shape in first grade is a rectangle. Now, a rectangle is like a square. It has 4 corners and 4 sides, but 2 sides are longer than the other. So let's go ahead and let's take our crayon or a pencil. Let's draw a long straight line. And then I'm going to go under it and I'm going to do the same thing again. And I'm going to stop right where the other one stops. So they're both the same length. Now to be a rectangle, I need to draw a third line connecting these two. So I go from the top down, and then I can go from the top down as well. Are you doing that with me? Do my corners look pointy? They should. So now let's go and mark those corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's count those lines. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I want you to do the same thing on your paper. Those dots and lines are proof of how many corners and how many sides you have. So our next first grade shape is our triangle. So we know a triangle has 3 sides and 3 corners. So when I draw my triangle, I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to go down like a slide. Then I'm going to pick up my pencil and go back to the top and go down like a slide on the opposite end. So it almost looks like I'm starting to write a capital A. And then to finish my triangle, I need to draw one more line from this corner to this corner. Okay. Do my corners look pointy? I think so. So now I just need to count them. 1, 2, 3. Do you have 3 corners on your paper? And then I'm going to count my sides. 1, 2, and 3. So now I just proved I have a triangle because I have 3 pointy corners and 3 straight sides. All right, so let's go ahead. We have 2 more shapes to go. So make sure you're still drawing with me, okay? So the next shape we're going to do is, you may have seen in kindergarten and called it a diamond. In first grade, our math word is rhombus. Rhombus. A rhombus has 4 sides and 4 corners, just like a square and a rectangle. But it looks really different. It looks like a square that someone had sat on. So let's try drawing a rhombus. We're going to be drawing 4 straight lines, but let's start with the first one. So I'm going to start at the top and slide down. And I'm going to go back to the top and slide down the other side, just like we did with the triangle. But now underneath it, I'm going to go do the opposite. I'm going to start at this corner and I'm going to slide going towards the middle. I'm going to slide going in. And then go the other side and slide going in again. So now when I mark my corners, I can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 corners. Now the corners on a rhombus are a little harder to find because some of the lines are slanted. Matter of fact, they're all slanted. And that makes some of the corners, especially the ones here on the side, harder to see. They're not as pointy as the ones on the top and the bottom. So I'm going to count my sides. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I do have a rhombus. I have 4 straight sides, 4 pointy corners. All right, so now let's try the last one, and probably the hardest one we have is a hexagon. Now a hexagon has 6 straight sides and 6 corners. So it's going to be a little trickier because the corners are not going to be as easy to see. So try to follow along with me. Ready? So line number 1 goes across like this. Line number 2, I pick up my pencil and I go down the side And I pick up my pencil and go over here and go down on the other side, like I'm sliding out. Oh, I have 3 lines so far, and I need 6. So I'm going to go over here now, and this is going to be a corner, right? So my corner is I'm going to slide in again. So I'm going to kind of take my line and go in a little bit. And the same thing over here. I'm going to put my crayon on the corner, but I'm going to slide in a little bit. And then the line number 6 is the one that connects the 2 here at the bottom. Now you see how my corners aren't as easy to see as they are with the square and the rectangle and the triangle. My corners are not as pointy. So it's always good that when we go back and we start marking them, we really stop and look where it is. So I know I had a corner here, and I had a corner here. And then I had a corner here, and a corner here. And then I had another one down here, and another one down here. So this shows me I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 corners. That's a hexagon. And now let me count my lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I do have 6 lines. And that shows that I made a hexagon. And that is a lot different, than it is a square, a rectangle, or a triangle. So when we get to the harder shapes, it's super important that we mark those corners and lines so we make sure we have the right number. Now I want to show you a shape that what it shouldn't look like. So for example, I'm going to do the triangle again. All right. And I'm going to draw it without picking up my pencil. I'm not going to pick up my crayon. I'm just going to keep on drawing it until I'm done. Here I go. Okay. So it looks like it could have 3 sides and 3 corners, but when I go back to mark it, I notice that, well, this corner's not too bad. It's kind of pointy. This one, I don't know really where the corner is. Is it up here? Is it down here? Is it over here? Because there's no point. I don't know where it is. And this one almost has a tail sticking out of it. So that's not really a corner either. So it looks like I only have 1 corner on this shape. When I count the straight sides, well, here is 1 straight side going from top to bottom. But this line right here, that's not straight. That's kind of curvy. So I can't even mark these here because they're not even straight. They're curved. That's a 1 curvy line. So boys and girls, I know drawing shapes is sometimes hard. But remember, when you are drawing them, picking up your pencil every time you have to draw a straight line can help. And trying to make sure the corners are pointy and the sides are straight can help as well. We're going to keep practicing drawing our shapes, and not only that, but also sorting them by their attributes, how many corners and sides they have. So when you're at home and you're maybe outside and you have some chalk, go ahead and draw those shapes out on the driveway if mom and dad let you. If you have some paper and crayons or markers, try drawing those shapes at home when you have a chance, just to keep practicing. And then the next time for tomorrow, we're going to talk a little bit more how to sort these shapes out, how we can group them by their attributes. So keep up the hard work, boys and girls, and I'm very proud of you.